this is Diamond from Simply Joy Soap Co. I'm excited to see you today. Today we are going to make some Freshies, y'all. But before we make those Freshies, I want to let you know this all the way in the beginning, y'all. Everything you need is in my Patreon. If you click the link in the description box, you will learn how to make candles, wax melts, skincare, you name it. We do so much there. We even have live classes, which we actually have a candle making class coming up on Saturday. Those classes are free of charge, no additional price. If you go in the description box, you'll just find out everything you need. Guys, I'm excited about today. Y'all, I'm so excited. Listen, y'all, I want you to subscribe to the channel. I want you to go ahead and hit the notification bell because you do not want to miss the up and coming videos that we're going to be doing. We're going back into our soap next week. We're starting to do Freshies, y'all. Yes, 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 yes. Anyway, I hope I got y'all nice and warmed up. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. So today we are going to be making some Freshies, but y'all, we're going to paint these Freshies, okay? So I've been on a whole different kick, y'all. 2025, listen, it's been pretty interesting. What I tell my business owners about 2025, you got to do what works for you, okay? You may be doing some embeds, and those embeds can take off. You may be doing some wax melts, and those wax melts can take off. You might be doing squeezable wax melts, and you might notice everybody saying, girl, I want this, I want this. You gotta stick with what works for you this year, okay? Ain't no experimenting, ain't no going out spending thousands of dollars and finding out later that you made a mistake. No, 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 no. You gotta stick with what works for you, okay? All right, so let's talk about today. So today I am going to paint this cute Highland Freshie, guys. Listen, I have been doing some Freshie painting experiments, and let me tell you guys, I have really been having fun with this stuff, y'all. This is stuff that I actually sell on my website. I started a website, and it's simplyjoysoap.com. Actually, it's in the description box. And this is how you can support me, and that is just by buying my Freshies. Okay, not only that, y'all, I sell the silicone molds to go with them. So if you are a maker and you want to make these Freshies, yes, go to my website. I have a lot of silicone molds, and I actually am uploading more today. So that's just like an everyday thing. I'm constantly uploading more and more molds, okay? So today we are going to do our 4th of July Highland, and I really love this little cow. It's so cute. Now listen, guys, this is not a video where I go through step by step when I'm putting it in the oven and stuff like that. I have done stuff like that in the past, and I actually have that loaded onto my Patreon. So if you're in the Patreon, you can learn that way. But this is what I did for you guys. I made a cheap ebook, okay? So the ebook is in the description box. It's super cheap, very inexpensive. So we can still do our Freshie University, but you're going to need the ebook so you can get all of the scents that you need to buy. Because I'm not just giving you guys fragrances. I'm giving you guys the fragrances that are actually strong. Ones that after you cure it, you can smell it all the way in the next car, okay? Those are the scents that I put inside of my ebook, okay? And I probably listed about over 20 cents. I know it's actually like about 20 cents for sure. 10 cents on my line. This year I'm using everything that I have because I spent a lot of money on fragrance, and God knows I have to use up what I have. But next year, y'all, I'm just buying my stuff in bulk. I'm buying it from a bulk supplier, and I'm only using 10 cents. So I will not have a whole bunch of fragrances. Ain't no need to store them. That's how we doing it in 2026, all right? But right now, if you go to my website, I got all kinds of fragrances. But my main ones, y'all, I put it up on that ebook, and you will not be disappointed. It teaches you how to bake them. It gives you troubleshooting tips. And also, guess what? You can shoot me an email, okay? You can send me an email after you get that book and you start reading that book and you have any questions. You can shoot me an email and I will gladly answer your questions. But anyway, y'all, so we are going to paint this little cute Freshie. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, guys, if you want to keep everything the same, if you are building a website and let's say somebody see your Freshie and they want it, they say, oh, I want that red, white, and blue one, you want to make sure that you put that Freshie close to you when you painting so you can make sure everything is identical in its placement. All right, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just pretty much putting this one over to the side and going from there. Okay, so after you finish baking your Freshie and you allowed it to cool down, now it's time to paint it. You're going to use apple barrel mate paint, and it's really important to get the paint in mate, because if you don't use mate, it will matte. I'm talking about mate. Well, if you don't use it in matte, it's going to come off, okay? These are the needle tips that you're going to use. You can get these on Amazon. Everything that I'm using is on Amazon. It is very cheap to buy it from Walmart instead of Amazon. I think they're about 50 cents per bottle if you buy them from like Walmart or craft store. I don't know. I just know they're extremely cheap. So I'm using black, I'm using white, I'm using crimson red, okay? This is the alcohol that I will be using if needed. Sometimes the paint can be pretty thick. So for that reason, I always have a bottle of alcohol sitting to the side. These are my needles. You can pick these needles up on Amazon. They come in different sizes. You may get a smaller package than mine, but if you can get 100 tips in a pack, you're doing pretty good. Anyway, guys, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline just as if I was coloring in a coloring book. One thing you learn as a child, if you outline something, it comes out really, really nice, okay? So now I'm going to grab my needle. I'm not going to use the smallest one. I'm going to just probably stay in the middle. I don't want to use it too big and I don't want to use it too small, because I'm going to be tracing some very small, fine lines, okay? So now we're going to start tracing our freshie. Now you're going to go around with this black paint and you are going to trace every single line, okay? I'm talking about every line. Just go ahead and do it. All right. So now you want to bring the freshie close up to your eye so that you can look and see if you are missing any of the lines. Now we're going to color it with this brown paint. Now you won't want to use a really, really dark brown because we already made the background brown. So you want to use a paint that you'll be able to still kind of blend it in and it don't look awkward, okay? So now what I'm doing is I'm going around and I am painting the blue parts, and the blue parts represent, of course, the red, white, and the blue. I'm only doing the blue parts because I have the blue paint in my hand, so I'm going to each part where I am coloring it blue, and I'm making sure that I don't color it too much, meaning that I'm not applying too much paint. But guess what, y'all? I ended up using too much paint and I had to go back, and you guys will see I had to go back and fix it. But anyway, I'm coloring every single part that needs to be colored blue. And now I'm going into the glasses because there is some glue in the background. Blue in the background of the glasses as well. Okay. So for this particular mold, guys, I have this on my website. The mold is on there for $9. Now, when it comes down to my molds, you can put them in the oven and they can go up to 400 degrees. Okay. So they're very sturdy. Now, they're not as thick as, the molds that we get as candle makers, because these are the ones that go in the oven, so they're a little bit different. Okay, so now I am taking the red paint and I am coloring every part just like I did with the blue. I'm coloring every part that has to do with red. So go around and finish your bow, finish the bandana. Just have fun with this project. So what I love about painting Freshies is, first of all, I love the money. Second of all, I enjoy painting. It's just very relaxing, especially at night. Once you put the kids to bed, you could just paint, be creative, use your glitters and stuff like that. So the first day that I did Freshies, I kept going from Freshie to Freshie to Freshie to Freshie. I couldn't stop because it was just, I don't know. I just had so much fun. It was so relaxing doing it. Okay. So every part that has a white, line, you're going to go ahead and use the white. And also, if you mess up and you use, let's say, too much white where the red go, you just go ahead and squeeze that red over top of it. And, try not to squeeze too much where it would kind of run off. But that's just a way for you to fix it, okay? These are very easy to repair. If you had an issue like me and you put too much paint in one spot, or you just don't feel like it's right, you could take a baby wipe, or you could take a cloth. You could put some alcohol on that cloth and you could just kind of rub it out with the cloth, or you could just use the baby wipe, which is already wet. Now, The one thing I'm going to tell you about the baby wipe is the baby wipe do have like these little hairs on them. And those little hairs do get caught up in the paint. So that's the only thing about the baby wipe, okay? So now I'm going over my bow and I'm putting on my white. And this is honestly, this is the cutest part of this Freshie. So I'm applying my white to the bow. And guys, listen, this is really coming out nice. I'm preparing myself. Every time you see me putting it on a paper, that's just me testing it and making sure that it's not blending and mixing with other colors. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is once I get everything all filled in, I'm going to start working on the nose and I'm going to work on the ears. So I painted my nose pink. You know, it's really, honestly, it's not a pink color, but I painted it this color because I wanted to stand out a little bit more. I could have just went and painted the same color as the ears, but I didn't want to. I felt like it was so cute this way, all right? So you want to go ahead and fill in that nose. And then you want to just take your black and go around and trace anything that you feel, you know, you could have forgotten or whatever. So I'm just going in and I'm doing my ears. I could make them brown like the rest, but I decided to kind of blend that in with white to make it a little bit lighter, which actually brings it out a little bit more. So I like this, you know, this idea of mixing the colors, okay? So we are going to fill in everything. Just go around and look and make sure everything is straight, everything is neat, you didn't forget any lines, and, you know, so on and so forth. Just keep filling everything in. Okay, so this is the part I was telling y'all about when I had to go back in and just kind of clean up my bandana because I had got a little bit too much of the black paint on it. And so I ended up even taking the glasses as well and saying, you know what, I'm going to fix this and I'm going to go back and do this again. I think it's more important for me to show you guys, you know, how to fix mistakes because, you know, sometimes, like, you know, of course, like even in the beginning of candle making, I would talk to people and be like, oh, I just threw that candle away. You know, me, I'm like, hey, I don't throw anything away, you know, so I didn't want you guys to just throw anything away. Just let you know that if you mess it up, you can clean it up and it can be fixed. Okay. So last thing we're going to do is we're going to color in this blue bandana. We're going to just use the blue all around. Make sure you don't color in those stars because those stars are going to be, the stars is honestly the whole part of the Freshie, okay? So we'll be using this matte mica called Amy Winehouse Blues, okay? It's the blue glitter, and we're going to use that on a bandana because this is going to bring it out. So you want to go ahead and sprinkle it directly onto the bandana in the middle, and once you get it onto the bandana, do not pile it up because you don't want this in any other part of your Freshie. You just want it strictly on the bandana. Just go ahead and tap it around until it get into each corner, okay? Because no corner is left behind. So keep tapping on it. And once you feel that you have reached, you know, every corner and it's completely covered with the glitter, I want you to go ahead and what you're going to do is you're going to turn your Freshie over and just bang it on the back. And that way, you know, of course, it don't spread to other sides. So you want to go ahead and tap off as much as you can, get a paintbrush and just kind of dust off the stars because we are going to paint the stars white, okay, guys? So make sure you have your white ready. All right, now listen, everything you need is in the description box, guys. Before I finish up with this, I want to let you know that, you know, I want you guys to excel in this business. I want you to do extremely well, but I definitely don't want you wasting too much money, okay? So let's go ahead and finish up with these white stars. And guys, listen, I love the way this Freshie came out. It was so cute. This is our final product, and I will see you guys again. All right.